overview. Number one, you have to look at the circumstance.
Okay.
As you clearly can see on that video.
You're wearing a mask.
I'm wearing a mask. The circumstances were different. Kenyans needed an intervention by then because it was just at the peak of Corona when majority of the world economies were totally battered on all fronts, from production side to the consumption side. And therefore we needed at the very least by that time to give Kenyans a reprieve.
Okay.
Now we are in a different circumstance. Number two also, we have to be alive to the fact that when we collect revenues through taxes, we expect those revenues to do some work for those people who are paying those taxes. By that time, we were at a level where every Kenyan was feeling disenfranchised because of the many corruption cases that were then bedeviling the government I was referring to on that video. And therefore, we have to put it into context.
Okay.
By then, the issue was not basically about the revenue. It was about, do we see actually where these revenues go? And therefore, the context is totally different. Secondly, as you look at the second part, I'm talking about LPG gas. And as you are aware, that you have already dealt with, because currently gas is much cheaper now than it was then. And also, thirdly, you have also to look at fuel in two dimensions. Number one, fuel in terms of consumption, but also number two, fuel in terms of production.
Okay.
And as you know, fuel that actually goes into production, all the people who are involved in production through any kind of fuel are entitled to actually ask for that refund from KRA. And I want to underline that fact also again, that whatever tax that you pay on fuel as a factor of production, whether it is 8%, whether it is 16%, you are actually at zero. Because you as the producer is actually entitled into claiming that fuel back. And that is why you saw, even after we changed the percentage in terms of fuel taxation, there was no commensurate ramification in terms of effect on all the other commodities. Because when you go back and claim the same VAT from KRA, it doesn't matter how much it is, the fact that it gets back to you as the producer.
Okay.
Second, fourthly, is that we have to explain to Kenyans actually why we collect money through fuel and where this money actually goes. Most of the fuel in Kenya that goes into production, majority of it actually goes in terms of transportation. Transportation, the mode is roads, most of it. You have to make a choice as government, whether you want the expenditure of transportation to actually go into repairing the vessels themselves in terms of vehicles, etc., or which other model you want the cost to go, because the cost has to be absorbed somewhere. So we feel as government that we should make roads more palatable.
Okay.
That is why most of these revenues that the additional revenue we are collecting on this fuel is around 50 billion. All of that money is actually going into repair of our roads. So you have to save on this side, bushes, etc., the inputs that we make in terms of repair of vehicles, and then on this other side, you save the same motorists in terms of giving them roads that they actually deserve.
Mheshimiwa, then